Will lies in your ability to make decisions and choices about your role in any number of given futures, in any number of potential futures. They've done studies that show that there is no difference to the brain between eating an apple and then just thinking about eating an apple, that the exact same centers of your brain light up when you do something or when you just think about doing something. Think about that in terms of how your body is experiencing an expectation of this won't work out. Your body, your brain, your nervous system is experiencing that stress, that thought, as if a bad situation is actually occurring in your life. You have control over that. You may get to the situation and it still might suck. You might get to the situation, it still might be hard. But you will have so much less situational anxiety. You will feel so much healthier in your own body. And you know what? The situation will, in 99 times out of 100, be better than if you had went into that thinking the worst thing is going to happen in this situation. So you redefine the way that you view success and failure. Then you begin to modify and alter your expectations. And you can apply this to anything in your life that's not working. That can be very small. I mean, you can apply this to how you treat and talk to yourself. You can apply this to how you treat and talk to your coworkers. You can apply this as you go into your job. And it's like, the empowerment here is that, you know, A Course in Miracles puts this as every problem comes bearing its own solution. So that's the same thing as saying that for every problem that arises in the universe, there is also a solution. The empowered thing is not to stand there and go, I know all the solutions. The empowered thing is to be honest with yourself, to use your intuition when you don't. It's to say, I found myself in this difficult situation. I don't know what the solution is, but I know that every problem has a solution. So if I'm willing to be open, if I'm willing to surrender, if I'm willing to let go of my fears, limiting beliefs, and embrace love, then the solution will happen. The third thing that we have to do, I think, is to become more conscious of how we feel both mentally and physically in the moment of a crisis, or in the moment of frustration. And, you know, one of my first times speaking here, Linda Austin said to me, she said, you know, if there's no Judas, there's no need for forgiveness. Which is the same thing to me as saying that you can avoid a problem before it starts. That you don't have to always be retroactively fixing things. And so one of the ways that you get better able to do that, one of the ways that is to check yourself before it ever happens. That's the point of becoming more conscious, because I think one of the things is that, like, we get in these situations and time itself seems to speed up. Like, our brain starts firing really quickly and our heart's like beating so fast, and it gives us the impression that time is actually moving faster. If you've ever been in an argument with somebody, it can be so hard to like remember the order that things happened in, or who exactly said what. So that's the benefit of yoga, that's the benefit of meditation, that's the benefit of changing your nervous system. It slows all of these things down so that you can short circuit that very quick process of anger. So pay attention, what does my body feel like in this moment? Because usually, I do know physically what it feels like when I'm about to do something that I regret. So have that conversation with yourself. Then also, don't just apply that to the negative. Start to pay attention how you feel in your body when good things happen. When, you know, you can do a really quick exercise in your own mind. Just list 5 things you're grateful for and see how you feel. And then list 5 things that you're presently ungrateful for in your life. You will notice a difference in the way that you feel. And I think that paying attention to our physiology in these moments helps us to sort of take a step back and perhaps make a different choice. And one of the ways to bolster this, to supercharge this, to take this even further, is to realize that at no point in a situation is it ever too late. You can always stop yourself. Don't think because you've been going back and forth with someone for 15 minutes, it's still not beneficial to stop it and go in a different direction. So at the moment that you become conscious that you've got locked in this ego trip, don't forget that it's not too late to do something different. That it's not too late to make a different choice here. The fourth thing is definitely the hardest for me, by a lot, and that is to let go of your need to right the universe. Let go of your need to make things right. The universe can take care of itself, I promise you. I promise you, it can. You know, I heard Marianne Williamson say, it's like there's a power in this universe that can keep the planets revolving around one another. There's a power in this universe that can, without fail, turn an acorn into an oak tree. That can make the things in your life right. So you don't have to be the person to make things right. You don't have to always be the person doling out justice on behalf of yourself or on behalf of someone else. Allow things to be made right. And usually, when you let go of your need to be right, things start to be right in your life. When you let go of, I think what has happened is that we have to let go of this addiction to things going our way. And I think that's very, very much what it is. We are addicted to people being who we want, acting how we want, doing the things and making the choices that we want. And if we are addicted to that, we are not seeing someone's authentic self. We are not seeing who they really are and what they really have to offer us. And of course we're not seeing that because we are then wrapped up in who we think we need to be. We are then so wrapped up in the choices and the ways that we need to be different. And so when you apply the principle that everything in the universe is right, and let go of this need to tinker with things over here, you know, or gossip about something over here, I think it moves you into a much more balanced and centered way of living your life. So I think if you apply those four concepts, if you redefine the way that you view success and failure in your life, if you start to understand the power of your expectations to affect your experience in the world, if you become aware of what you feel in your body at the moment that crisis or struggle or hardship is about to erupt, and then if you let go of your desire to have your way, if you let go of your desire to right the universe, you will find yourself more and more frequently and for longer intervals of time being able to exist in a space of centeredness. Friday night, after I had been working on this a little bit, I had a dream. And it was my wedding, strangely enough. I don't know why that would be on the brain. And I'm at my ceremony, you know, with Steve, and nothing is going right. Like every time I look out into the audience, there are different people there, and sometimes it's very full of people I don't know, and then the next second it's very empty. Nobody that's around Steve, have I ever seemed to have met before. We're like walking down the aisle to Bon Jovi's Living on a Prayer. I try to like get out my vows, and the paper is disintegrating in my hands, so nothing is like going right in the street. And I walk down the aisle, and I get to where we're going to get married. And I see this person that I love so completely. And all of these other things happening around me in this dream, I am not in the least concerned with. Because what I realize is that it's not anything that's happening at the wedding that makes it special. It's the experience of being with somebody that I love and that activates a loving part of me. It's the experience of being a complete person, joining with another complete person. And I woke up and I immediately wrote it down because of the experience that it inspired in me. And I thought, that's really the point. That no matter what's happening in our lives, good or bad, painful or pleasurable, no matter how we're classifying the moment that we have now found ourselves in, we can find that sense of love, that sense of peace. Whether or not we're with someone else. I mean, that's not the point. They're just activating what you've learned about yourself, right? They're just a mirror for you, and you are a mirror for them. And I think that for me, is a goal, both in my own life, and then in the life of our planet, in the life of our collective, that is worth working toward. Thank you so much for letting me be here with you guys today.